If I may, I would like to send a message to the black journalists who interviewed Donald Trump yesterday. Here, come close, come close, come close. You completely embarrassed yourselves. You completely embarrassed us as a people, and you should be ashamed. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Have y'all seen that video where the lady talking about how she defends her house with pew-pews and pit bulls?
What would you do if I broke in your house?
Now, hold on just a minute, Skittles. I live down here in the South, and we protect ourselves with pit bulls and pew-pews. And the real question is, which one of them is going to get you first?
I'm going to let y'all figure out what a pew-pew is, but y'all defended yourself with Q-tips and cotton balls. Donald Trump came up in there and bullied y'all like a G. And it was truly embarrassing. Look, y'all are highly educated journalists, and Donald Trump is dumb as a bag of goobers. How on earth do you let him come in your house and bully you like that? It started off good, though.
You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
When I heard that, I was like, oh, they finna go in on Donnie Don. What was I wrong?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
see, by this point, you already know he's not answering the question. But she did ask a legitimate question, like why you calling us names and why you hanging out with white supremacists if you're not racist?
I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further.
Again, y'all are highly educated journalists. And by now, you should know that Donald Trump is a bully. And when you back a bully into a corner, what you think he finna do? You wasn't prepared for that?
I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe
I have
that
answered the question.
This dude answered everything but the question. But you allowed him to ramble on and on about everything but the question. So don't get mad because you allowed him to do it. See, that's them Q-tips and cotton balls y'all got.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln.
This dude is going in on her. He just said that he was the best thing since Abraham Lincoln. What's her response? Cotton balls.
That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
Really? The Voting Rights Act? That was so pathetic of a response, he didn't even acknowledge it.
Start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner. I think it's a disgrace.
Look, I'm not going to play a lot of this interview because this is enough. I mean, let's break this down. Now, when you crafted this beautiful question, by the way, and go over all the questionable actions that he done to black people over the past several years, you didn't think about a Donald Trump response to this question? I mean, you weren't prepared to not make yourself look like a complete idiot? Did you forget who you were talking to? Because if you did, all you had to do was repeat the question. Look, there's so much material here, it's ridiculous. But we're going to keep it short and look at one more part where he's asked about DEI.
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of
Sir,
that.
I'm asking you a question,
No,
a very direct question.
Define define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So
it's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans
I really don't
have
know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. Could be.
Look, this was a layup. You have the former president who doesn't know what DEI is. That's why he's asking you for a definition. He's scrambling. He doesn't know what it is. This is a T-ball home run, teed up, waiting for you to knock it out of the park. And what do? Call him sir. Twice. Now, there's a lot of reaction toward this interview, and mostly negative towards Donald Trump. But Donald Trump don't think so.
Trump himself also commented on the interview, writing on Truth Social that he, quote, crushed it.
That's to be expected. He's a bully.
Samara, let's start with you and just get your reaction to what we heard from the former president in that venue about Vice President Harris yesterday.
You know, I think lately Donald Trump has been trying to do his best impression of someone who actually respects women and likes black people.
I totally agree. And she's a journalist, and why didn't they have her on the panel?
And now that Kamala Harris is the front runner and there's so much energy and momentum behind that campaign, I think that now Donald Trump is afraid. I think he is probably losing this election, and I think he feels that. So what he's doing is he's going back to his old playbook of racism that really propelled his campaign back in 2016. And this is really just birtherism 2.0.
See, this is what I'm talking about. They're supposed to hit him at the interview with this. They were supposed to have been like, hey, Donald Trump, ain't this just birtherism 2.0 or something? And not only that, match energy for energy. The way that question was formulated, you don't like him and he don't like you. So why you calling him sir? But don't take my word for it. Let's ask Al Sharpton.
His act is old. He's got an old act. And as Mara pointed out, he knows partially internally that it's old and it's not working. And now he's confronted by an opponent who has electrified the Democratic Party within a week, electrified the party. Where do you think Trump is going to go on this?
Well, first of all, what has been perplexing to me is that we've been asking the wrong question. A lot of people, when it came out that the National Association of Black Journalists had invited him, were saying, why would you invite him? The real question is, why did he accept? He accepted to go to do exactly what he did. He wanted to go and say, I will stand up to these blacks. I will put them in line. That has been the basis of his campaign. To go from Obama is not American to Harris is not black, it's the same song, just a different lyric. And that is what he feels put him in the White House in 16, and it'll put him in the White House now. I think you're right when you say it's an old song, but if you're an old singer and you only have one song, you've got to sing it and hope the crowd likes oldies but goodies. And that's what he is doing.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't like oldies or but goodies.